All right, hello everybody. Today is July the 18th, 2022. As you can see, I'm Mr. 411, and you are now into the 411 Sports World Fantasy Show. Now, you know I couldn't do this alone. So we're gonna have our special counsel on in just a moment. So everybody buckle up, get ready. We're gonna talk a lot of fantasy terminology, and we're gonna have a mock draft. So for all the fantasy football managers out there of all levels, get ready. Here we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's that time of year. There's a lot of leagues that already been drafting, but we like to take our time, let things marinate. And again, I'm Mr. 411. We welcome you to the first episode of 2022 of the 411 Sports World Fantasy Show. And as I stated, I can't do this alone. So I have to bring him on. None other than
Big win! Epic win!
Calculator. What's going on?
Greetings and salutations, Mr. 411. I've never had an intro like that, so that's kind of nice. I like that.
Hey, man, you was coming out like Goldberg,
Woo! I like it.
All right. Yeah, I mean, everybody's, we're looking forward to this calculator. I mean, look, the video speaks for itself. You win a lot of these fantasy leagues and you have a lot of fantasy experience. So we have to bring you on for that.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm here for. We're here to try and make people not just a better player, but if you have the friendly wagers going on, that's always nice to get a little extra, at the end of the day. So that's what we're here for.
Absolutely, calculator. And in order to keep up with the calculator, please do the following.
Yes, sir. We definitely want people to be able to do that so that they can, keep up because, July is almost, be over before you know it. And then, things really kick up in August. So definitely want to be able to, know when stuff hits the internet.
Absolutely. All right, calculator. Let's pay a couple bills real quick. Ernest Butts Academy. Check out Mr. Ernest. Mr. Butts is doing great things in the community. And he has a academy there for boxing of all ages, all the way from young kids to adults. You can use it as your personal training and pick up a skill. So check out Ernest Butts Jr. And if that doesn't get you buff enough, check out Keith Morgan at ptwithgrit.com. Keith Morgan will personalize your workout plan and he'll get you ready, get you going. So check out Keith Morgan. He also has virtual training. So that is excellence. If you need to get your vehicle worked on and you can get to the Warner Robins area, Warner Robins, Georgia area, check out James Spicer. He's the owner. He has a Precision Tune Auto Care location. You can reach him at 478-923-6510. As it says on the card, just come on in. So come on in and get your car fixed. You need to get your yard taken care of. And we salute this gentleman, Darren Ford, veteran quality lawn. He's a veteran of our country and will definitely take care of your lawn. So check him out, Darren Ford. One more calculator, and then we're going to get this party started. But here's a great way to get your party started, and that's with Margarita Man. 478-273-0787. You want to spice up your party? Margarita Man has the equipment to do that. He'll set it up, and then your party is off and running. So check out Margarita Man. Calculator.
Hey, Mr. 41, I want to give a shout out to that Precision Auto Care. I took it over there, and they finally I've been having AC trouble for the past 3 years, and I finally took it to them, and they got it working. So thanks to Precision Auto Care. Shout out
That's
from the calculator.
There you go. From the one and only calculator. All right. Yeah, he would definitely get your vehicle up and running.
Yes,
And
he will.
there it is. Firsthand, right? Firsthand information.
That's
And that's
right.
what you're going to get. And that's what you're going to get today. You're going to get some firsthand information from the calculator. Some precision information.
That's
All
right.
All right. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Let's get to it. Fantasy football is amongst us now. And again, we want to talk about fantasy football, but at all levels. And so you got to get the fundamentals in anything that you do. And that's what today's show is about. We have some fundamental information that we want to share. So, calculator, there's different ways, different angles of doing this, and of course, we want to talk about the basic terminology. So let's go there first. Terminology.
Yeah. And like you said, Mr. 411, we always start off the year with a terminology because, like you said, a lot of times you need to walk before you can run, and that's what fundamentals are about. And there's to as an overview, we're going to give you information that covers all types of leagues that can use that you can help you that you're going to come across in not only in research but during the league. And I try to sample all leagues. I do. I've had 12 person leagues. I've done 16 people leagues. I've done a league where it's called, it's starting out. It's called a guillotine league, which is pretty fun. But I only recommend people that have been playing for a few years, actually, to get in this type of league. It's called a guillotine league. It's basically lowest. It starts out with 18 teams, and a team gets knocked out every week. It's the lowest scoring team of that year. Well, what happens? The interest about this league is the team that gets eliminated, all their players go into free agency. So then all the remaining teams start doing bids. You have a certain amount of money that you can bid on, and then but once you use that money, you're out. So that's why there's different type of strategies in this guillotine league. I actually participated in 4 of them. 4 of those leagues last year. I actually won one of them. But just like any league, a lot of it can be luck. As well. If you happen to have a team, that, and I'll just give you an example. The league I wound up winning, the person that had Christian McCaffrey, as soon as Christian McCaffrey got hurt, this guy was out. That was his main guy. That was the guy that was getting him. Well, guess what? And this next guy spent pretty much all his money, free agency, to get Christian McCaffrey. Well, guess what? Christian McCaffrey didn't play that week. And guess what? The guy that paid all his money, he was out because, he didn't have any more money to get any people to cover holes. But that's just a different type of leagues. I always recommend 12-person league is kind of like the sweet spot. And the reason I like 12-person leagues is you're not going to have an overabundance of all these. You're not going to have a stud team. You're really going to have to do your research because you have more teams and leagues. But it's less than a 16-person league where there's nobody in there. So 12 persons kind of like sweet spot. Also, I like 12 to get a good nice prize pool going on. So those are different type of leagues to look at. I always also the different types of scoring. You have your standard scoring, which is a lot of times that is 1 point for every 10-yard scoring, and then 6 points for a touchdown. I kind of steer away from those because I prefer more scoring. Just look at what the NFL does. They do more things to help the offensive players. I'm the same way. I want more types of way to score. So that's why I like to engage in the point per reception leagues. You can do half point, full point.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to get that extra incentive so that, wide receivers become more valuable. If you're stuck with a bad draft position, you don't you're not going to be behind the eight ball, so to
Right.
speak, from the get go, based on draft position. You can make that up with a stud receiver, which is coming, can really help you out because as people know that playing leagues, wide receivers are more, or run, I should say, running backs are more susceptible to injuries than wide receivers, just because of the wear and tear that they have in the during the year. So that's why I perform a PPR league. And just for our listeners, we're going to do these mock drafts, what we're going to do is we're going to try and do PPR scoring, 12-person leagues, and we're going to do it from different draft positions to see people, hey, where if you're stuck with a bad draft position, we're going to show you how to utilize that to your advantage. Hey, just stack up on receivers if you need to, and then go with later running backs and later in the draft to kind of go in there. So, and those are type of leagues, and then there's different type of drafts for different type of leagues. Your
Hmm.
standard snake draft, basically, that's just it's kind of like it sounds. If you draft in the beginning of a round, you're going to draft later in the next round, and it just goes back and forth, back and forth. Those are your standard. A lot of people always say if this is your first year, that's the best to get in because you know you some positions still are better than others, but if you're well researched, you can flow with a snake draft because you know where you're drafting. And a good thing is, if you're paying attention, you see what other people are drafting, so you can plan during the draft of how it's going on. Now, if you've played at little leagues and if you have the patience for a long type of draft, there's an auction draft. It's just like it sounds. You have a bunch of players and you bid money on them, and then once you run out of money, you're out of the good players. You're going to be stay. What an auction does is basically you have a bankroll and you have to divvy that bankroll to fill out your roster. If you spend all your money on a few players, you're going to have less money to spend on, and you're going to have to backfill with people that aren't so good. Maybe a lot
Yeah.
of people that that they're fillers. That'll probably be on the. There's a term that we talk about. Boom or bust players. Those are the type of players you fill out. Now, if they boom, it's good. If they bust, you move on.
Now,
So
and calculate real quick on that auction draft. That's a draft, and I participated in it before. It's an opportunity where it's in my mind it's a fair opportunity where all the
correct.
members have an equal opportunity
That's
to
that
gain that number one pick, right?
correct. If you want what you conceive is the best player on the field or the best player that's going to be for the year, you can go and get him. You just have to spend the money for it. You know what I'm saying? So an auction draft is okay. Two things: it's as fair as it gets, and it's as you a bunch. There's more strategic
Yes.
uh, things you can bring to the table in an auction draft. Hey, you could be just try, and you might not even like a player, and you just bid them up, hoping that you can get a guy out of money for a player that you might not even think he's going to be good, but you're going to make that guy spend money on. But there is a caution: don't get too sneaky because it could come back to backfire. I've seen
Right.
that happen to me before. But yeah, there's a lot of strategy involved in an auction draft versus a snake draft. You know what you're getting. Auction draft, you don't know what you're getting until you're actually in the fire. And auction drafts go super fast. As far as when I say go super fast, as far as the action, and it's every single round. Although I did have one friend, his strategy was he spent all his money on the top three players and then went and took a bath. He said,
Right.
and after his bath, he came back
He's
and got
out.
his $1 players. He said, I was tired, man, from a hard day's work. I spent all my money on those top three players, and then just tuned it out, and then came back at the end of the draft. So that was his strategy for that particular time. So yeah, but me, I like the auction draft. There is no, I've done one strategy in auction where I spent my money out equally and got a bunch of mid-tier players.
Right.
And I've did the stud and what they call the stud and dud approach, where you get all the studs and then you have a bunch of duds and then see how that works. and it's been 50-50. I've had success with both type of teams. So there really is no, it's a lot of, again, it depends on how the season is going, and it depends on how you work the waiver wire. That's, see, the NFL fantasy football is two parts. It is beginning of the season, which is your draft, and then it's the waiver wire, which is basically picking people up that nobody has and add them to your team throughout the season. Because it's
Hmm.
inevitable. You're never going to have a season where people aren't going to get hurt. So that's the key of working the waiver wire out there.
Yes, sir. Any
So
other? What about? Oh, one more thing, calculator. What about the guillotine draft? If I'm saying that right, because that's
yeah,
one I'm
the,
really interested in.
Yeah, and that is basically, uh, it's the same. The beginning is a snake-like draft, and again, remember, there's 18 teams. So in the beginning, a lot of people are going to have holes. You got to hope some of those flyer guys you take a chance on, can hit. But again, you don't have to have the perfect team. You just have to keep your neck above water. And there is a strategy to a guillotine league. The strategy is, hopefully you have a good enough team where you can weather the bye weeks, because again, 18 teams, you're going to have some thin spots, and then save that money for later in the draft, because by the time you get 6 weeks in, you're going to have lots of good players on the waiver wire and not as many teams. Well, if you're holding all the cards, you can be the bully of the waiver wire and pick the guys you want to fill the positions that you need. And I have to admit that the season, I tried both approaches, because last year I was a rookie. I want to see the teams that I did. There was one team I got out fairly early. That was a team where I spent a lot of my waiver wire money early on to try and fill holes, because unfortunately, being new, I didn't think of how bad bye weeks would hurt me. So I was trying to fill these holes, and then I was out of money. So when all
Right.
even better players were coming available, and I had no money, I was outbid by the bullies in the room, and I was out early. The one I did win, I had a lot of money at the end. Now, I didn't have the most money at the end, but what I did is, near the end, I was in two or three. So I was able to pick the top guy won. And there was one guy that had more money than me, but he was trying to be the bully at the very end. See what I'm saying? So he went and bid all his money. He was getting too stingy, what I thought. And I got two or three gems. One of them was a Rashad Penny. Guy, I don't know why he didn't pick up Rashad Penny when he was available on the waiver wire, but I picked him up. Rashad Penny I rode him to the championship. I bid just enough to get where the guy wanted to save his money. I said, all right, you save him. I need to start running back. I put Rashad Penny in there, and Rashad Penny, was one of those unsung heroes that a lot of people don't hear about. But just want to tell our people, if they listen to our show, we told people about Rashad Penny before Rashad Penny showed out. So that's another reason that people got to tune in when that notification goes off, so we can try and get you early. So, but Guillotine League,
Absolutely.
again, I think is a person that needs to get your feet wet before. It's taken me years before I would feel comfortable getting to a guillotine league. And again, it was I was playing around. That's why I played in four of the guillotine leagues to see how well I can, because I was going against people that have been playing guillotine leagues for years. So I was got my foot wet, and luckily
Yeah.
I was able to win one of those. So
Yeah.
okay,
And see what I'm saying? You're lucky to win one of those calculators.
yeah. There is another type of league. We talked about PPR league. Another league that is taking over is called a superflex league. Basically, what a superflex league is, a lot of times that is where you can start two quarterbacks. Because you have that extra flex player that can be anybody. I mean, it could be an extra quarterback. I mean, you can go with one quarterback still, but if you have that extra flex player that can be a quarterback, that's what you want to get, because as everybody knows, quarterbacks are the highest scoring players on your roster most of the time. So what a superflex does is that, again, that pushes quarterbacks up in the league. So again, I always tell people, if you're in a league, know your settings, and know, try and know the people you're playing with, because you could take you can use that to your advantage during the draft. But a key word and a key acronym I want to keep people on is called ADP, average draft position. You'll hear that if you just type in and try and get on a fantasy show or fantasy podcast. You're going to hear ADP a lot, right? Average draft position basically is where a lot of drafts have taken place, and it's a composite of where people are drafting. What I mean is they could take 100 drafts that have already taken place, so you can see where, if you like a person, you could know when to draft them. And I'll just say there could be a person you really like, but if you sit and don't use a first round draft pick on them. If you see they're an ADP in the third round, you can say, hey, I could use my first round pick on somebody else, and I could probably possibly get this person in the second round. That's what ADP is used for. ADP is for you to gauge when you want to draft your players, because everybody's going to have their players. So, use that as a tool. That's a tool. And we're going to be using ADP in our mock drafts. If we see that this, there's one guy we like, and I'll just tell you right now, a guy I'm really high on early on is Aaron Jones. I'm seeing him go, in his ADP is actually early third round, late second round. So, even though I really like Aaron Jones, I'm not going to pick him in the first round, because ADP tells me I can pick him sometime in the second round, depending on, again, on where my draft position is. If I have the first overall pick, I might not get Aaron Jones. I can't, because I'm definitely not going to use the number one overall pick on Aaron Jones. Hey, but if he falls to me with the last pick of the second round, I'm fine with it. So ADP is just a guy for a team that you like. Another guy I like is Malcolm. What is it? The guy that just went from Baltimore and he's in Arizona.
Oh, you talking about
Wide
Brown?
receiver? Yes, Brown. Is it Malcolm Brown?
Hollywood Brown.
Hollywood
Brown.
yeah, Hollywood. Yeah. I'm sorry. I drew a blank. I just knew his last name was Brown. I couldn't remember his first name. But yeah, I really like him, especially with DeAndre Hopkins being suspended the first 6 weeks. I mean, Hollywood could blow up, but I'm not going to spend it. I'm not going to spend a third round draft pick him because he's going in the sixth round in a lot of drafts. I'm not going to spend a first or a second or even a third round draft pick because I think I can get him in the fourth round or the fifth round. Again, depending on my team makeup, because that is where he's averaged being selected. Now, caution.
One more thing, calculator.
Yeah.
Before you give that caution, okay, we're going to cut to a commercial break and we're going to come right back. So hold that thought on that caution for me, okay?
Okay.
All right. Heavenly Spa Mobile.
Hi, I'm Latanya. I'm the owner of Heavenly Spa Mobile. I've been in this business 19 years plus. If you're in dire need of a massage for achy muscles, back, neck, shoulder, hip, legs, feet, come on down and schedule an appointment with me. You can't go wrong. There's nothing wrong with taking care of you because no one's going to be able to take care of you. I'm located at 2484 Ingleside Avenue, and that's in Building 8, and that's in Macon, Georgia. Again, you can go online to Heavenly Spa Mobile to schedule your future appointment, or you can reach out to me at 478-747-9231. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Heavenly Spa Mobile for supporting the show. As you heard Miss Rainey say, she looks forward to seeing you soon. And calculator, before you carry on, we look forward to seeing someone, and she is now here about to enter the building. Lacey Dawson, welcome, Lacey.
So, we know it's fantasy football season, Mr. 411, when Lacey makes an appearance.
That's exactly right. And yes, I'm sorry I intended to join you earlier, but I've been having some technical difficulties here. Stop it. Because I am babysitting my sister's little doggy while they're on vacation.
Gotcha.
And so when I'm at their house, I don't know how all of this stuff is going to work. So just bear with me if you see things going in and out. If you see something furry go flying by, it's just her crazy doggy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I am so happy to
All
be
right.
here today for fantasy football. Yes, it is time.
And Mr.
That's
401,
right. And we
with Lacey joining, I'm not going to go over the term free agent acquisition budget and waiver wires because that usually starts an argument between me and Lacey.
That's right. So let's not
She
do
does
that.
not like it, and I love it. So,
yeah,
so
the behind the scenes brawl, right? That was going on in our earlier meetings, right? The early season brawl. I mean, the
that's right.
season's on already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll
Yes,
keep
but
those off
we're
camera.
gonna zip through some more of these. Yeah, but we're gonna zip through some of the some more of the terminology. We have about 10 more minutes on that before we get
Mhm.
into especially what Lacey loves is the draft, and we also have to get another
Oh, yeah.
sponsor in there. But
My
we'll,
favorite.
we'll we'll go ahead and pick up. So calculator, pick up from where you left off on some
Okay.
terminology with about 10 on the
Sure.
clock. 10 on the clock.
Absolutely. We another we talk about the term breakout. Well, a breakout is just that. It's a person that is going to improve significantly over the next year. A lot of breakouts can be one of two things. A breakout can be a rookie that's coming into their second year that was kind of so first year and then breaks out in the second year. Or you could have a person that was pretty good early on, got injured, and then the next year he comes out. So a lot of people say that's not really a breakout. Well, if they never really broke out before the injury, it would be a breakout again if their stats improve significantly over the next year. I break out a lot of people I've been hearing about coming up could be a Christian Kirk, kind of a guy that was in in the Arizona kind of behind the scenes, did all the dirty work, and now he's going to be featured on his new team, something like that. Hollywood Brown, a lot of people could say he's not really a breakout. Well, he was kind of ho hum, but a lot of things that held Hollywood back was, in my opinion, was the quarterback position. They were are also the way that team was structured as a run first team, and Hollywood Brown kind of getting in. Well, now Hollywood Brown's going into a run or a
Yes.
pass first system,
Right.
has a quarterback that loves to throw the deep ball. He's going to be the main guy, especially the first
Right.
6 weeks while Hopkins is, behind
Yeah.
the scenes. So, a lot of people say this could be Brown's breakout year. So breakout is a term that you look, and a lot of people use the term sleeper and value player. A lot of times those are tagged to breakouts. People that you're going to break out, well, a lot of people might not be looking at them, but you think they're going to do well in the next year. You have any people early on, Lacey, that you might think could be a breakout early on? Any of your Jets think could break out this year?
Not a chance. I mean, this. I was doing a little research for this, and there's so many question marks in my mind anyway about this upcoming season because of the off season moves. I don't think I've ever seen quite this many
Yes.
kind of swaps. I think at the quarterback level, and receivers are just like it's a revolving door right now. I can't even trust that any of them is going to be where they are, a month from now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that they're finished, and so it's really hard to it's hard to say. Of course, I think that what's his name, Aaron Rodgers and Alan Lazard. I mean, I feel like that's going to have to be special because with Devontae Adams gone, that those passes are going someplace. And I feel like Lazard is going to have the most chemistry because they got rid of MVS and even though Randall Cobb is still there, I'm just saying that wouldn't necessarily mean that he's a breakout, but he's unburdened. He's in a position to have a really great year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's a term, Lacey, that is used when you said there's a lot of targets that have left. The term a lot of the people are saying are called vacated targets. Basically, that is a term where a person that leaves, well, those targets have to go somewhere else,
Right.
and that's why I think you're spot on. Alan Lazard's been with Aaron Rodgers, forever. And if a lot of people remember Jordy Nelson. Devontae Adams wasn't Devontae Adams when there was Jordy Nelson there.
That's
As soon as Jordy Nelson got hurt, shuttled off, Devontae Adams stepped right up. When you have a quarterback as good as Aaron Rodgers is going to find a way to get you the ball, especially if you played in his system for years and years and years. So I think that's a great point. Alan Lazard, and that would be a breakout because Alan Lazard's been ho-hum, but this could be a year with all those vacated targets that he can. And I was talking to Mr. 4-1. That's why I really like Aaron Jones better than a lot of people this year, because a lot of people are talking about the AJ Dillon.
That's
AJ Dillon coming, but you know what Aaron Jones excels in? Pass catching. Well, you got a lot of pass catching that a lot of those targets that are out there. Hey,
that's true.
Aaron Jones could pick that up. And when you're in a PPR league, pass catching running backs. Now he's not going to help you in those standard leagues because I think AJ Dillon is going to vulture a lot of the the touchdowns when they're in close. But hey, if I can get 6 to 7 catches from a running back featured in a high powered offense, I'm game for that.
In PPR, absolutely.
PPR. I mean, that's like gold.
Yeah, I was looking at Aaron Rodgers because it's like Devontae Adams that's a big piece of the puzzle to lose. But I was looking back, I was like, okay, he started with like Greg Jennings, and at the tail end of Donald Driver, Randall Cobb became Randall Cobb, because of him, and then Jordy Nelson, and even remember, what's his name? Jermichael Finley.
Oh, the beast tight end.
I think that the tight end, is going to get some love this year as well in Green Bay. I'm high on their offense personally.
Yeah. And I agree, and he's gonna have to spread it out, until he finds. But once he finds that one person, that's right. He could really help you out. That's why a lot of people are looking at the Kansas City offense as well, because with Tyreek Hill going. Now MVS has stepped in. I can say, hey, he could be. Well, he's not quite as fast as Tyreek Hill, people. So that's right. He has other people taking those targets away. So MVS there, and so I think a lot of that is and that's the movement that you're talking about. That's why we're trying to help these people out, to tell people where they're at. So but
I like it.
Yes. And another term that people that need to get used to, we were talking about Aaron Jones, and AJ Dillon goes to running back by committee. NFL teams are employing that more and more. They say, hey, if I can get 2 guys and keep them fresh throughout the year, why not do that? A lot of people, it worked really good for people that owned the Kareem Hunt. That was a Chubb owner. That helped them out, especially 2 years ago. Kareem Hunt, when Chubb got hurt, Kareem Hunt was awesome. And then last year you had AJ Dillon actually step up. Aaron Jones got nicked up later in the year. That's when AJ Dillon kind of showed what he can do. They're going to employ that running back by committee. So it's good if you're going to load up in receivers, target those teams that you can see in a running back by committee, and possibly get the guy that the lower drafted person. And a good running back by committee is the Tony Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott type. You know what I'm saying?
Dallas is dead to me.
That's why you go for Pollard. Because Pollard, you can get him 2 to 3 rounds after Ezekiel Elliott, and see what Tony Pollard. I'm in a league with Miss Lacey in an auction league up in Atlanta that we go to every year that we like to draft in. And Tony Pollard was my savior later in the year when I was having DeAndre Swift, who got hurt on me. I lost J.K. Dobbins at the beginning of the year. Hey, I got the second part of that timeshare with Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard, and Pollard.
Yeah, and I had Zeke.
Yeah, you had Zeke. I didn't say that, Lacey. You said that. So that's what I'm saying. You can target teams that were running back by committee. And hey, if you're struggling for a running back, pick up that second running back that's going 2-3 rounds after that first running back, and he could keep your head above, especially during bye weeks and trying to get you through an injury. And then the golden thing is, what if that head guy gets hurt? Then you have a full-time running back. They call them workhorses. That's the team. When you hear the word workhorse, it's that running back that's just the thing all to themselves.
But one thing to keep in mind is don't try to get cute about it and just pick up those secondary guys instead of going after some of your big running backs.
Yeah, that's the key. That's right. Yeah, don't start getting the handcuffs. That's another term we call handcuffs. You don't want to load up on handcuffs because the difference between a running back by committee and a handcuff is a guy that won't get the ball until the guy gets hurt. Right. At least the running back by committee, the guy gets it regardless of what the starter is doing. So yeah,
and Dalvin Cook is a good candidate for a handcuff.
Yes. Yeah, get his handcuff, Alexander Madison, because Alexander Madison's not going to get you anything while Dalvin Cook is healthy. But if Dalvin Cook goes out, and Madison goes into a top 7 running back, you know. So yeah, that's when you talk about these workhorses. That's when you hear the term stud, a guy that's going to carry your team. You know, we briefly talked about studs and duds and the auction part of this conversation. You know, you want to you go for the studs and you try to stay away from the duds. You know, but I think that's about
absolutely
pretty much the terminology that we wanted to hit on.
Cool.
Okay, well, 5 minutes to go before we officially get out of the terminology section and move into our commercial break and then our mock draft. Any other terms that have been overlooked? Any terms yet?
Well, I mean, we just don't have the time to go over all of them. That's the problem.
Well, just any key ones? Any key ones?
Well, like I said, we touched on the main ones with ADP and PPR. You know, it's just basically those are you got to look at the acronyms and what they stand for, because a lot of that's going to drive where you draft. Again, to bring Lacey up to speed, the mock draft we're going to do is going to be 1 point PPR, and it's your standard 12 teams, 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 receivers, 1 flex player, and that flex player, again, we're not doing super flex, so the one flex player can be a running back, wide receiver, or tight end. That's what the word term flex is you can do them across any type of position. And then 1 defense and 1 special teams. Because the reason people say, why are you drafting special teams and kickers? Well, we're going to draft them at the end of the draft to show you what is still available. If you're drafting those positions, because a lot of leagues have it. Hey, personally, a lot of people say get rid of. I'm a kicker lover. I love kickers because that keeps me busy on the waiver wire, because I'm gonna say which kicker is gonna have a nice matchup this week. I love drafting. I love drafting 5 defenses near the end of the year because because then you have your pick of who they play when. So, but that's because if you study and you stay on the waiver wire, kickers and defenses can actually help you out.
Yeah. All right, and we'll definitely display that in our mock draft. Right now we're going to pay a couple more bills. This one is being paid from within, but check out the Sports Brothers. That will be Mr. 411. You probably hear his voice right now, and Zach for the 7:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time show. We'll be talking about some NBA and NFL. You'll hear Deshaun Watson's name come up, which has a lot of fantasy implications. And you'll hear some things about Kevin Durant, which has fantasy basketball implications. So tune in, same network. Check us out on YouTube, and you'll see the Sports Brothers show. All right, another bill that we need to pay, and this is big thanks to, I just mentioned to you guys that check our show out, which you're currently watching now, the 411 Sports World fantasy football show, but also the Sports Brothers and all the other shows that we have, Crossing the Lines and so on and so forth. But we are now, ladies and gentlemen, we also are on Blackjack TV. So check us out on the Jack. All right, on the Jack. All right, blackjacktv.net, and you'll check us out there. Click on the icon that shows the shows. You'll see it on the screen. It'll already be showing some TV programming on there, but then you just scroll down just a little bit right on that screen, and then you'll see the guide, and it'll look like the old school TV guide. Remember that TV guide? So you scroll down on that, and you look, and then you'll see all the shows on there as well. So we thank Blackjack TV for picking this all up, and so we're very grateful there. And they can't wait. I heard that they just couldn't wait to get the fantasy show up and running on there because there's a lot of fantasy owners out there that are ready.
Oh yeah, and anytime you name get blackjack, no people go.
Exactly. And
So,
Calculate, I know you're a poker, and I know you're a poker player. I know you love to deal the cards and everything. So this is right up your alley here. All right, now something else that might be up your alley, Calculator, and also up your alley, Miss Lacey and Mr. Lacey and Miss Calculator, is the panty platter. Check out the panty platter. All right. Panty Platter Boutique is, yes, they are a sponsor of the 411 Sports World Fantasy Show, the Sports Brothers, Crossing Lines, all of our shows. So check them out on, I'm gonna try to be cool here on the IG, right? It's at _ panty platter. Or you can go to www.thepantyplatter.com. And that's a / right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well then.
Right. Hey, I have an anniversary coming up, Mr. 411. So I appreciate that.
There
Maybe
it is.
a gift card.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna let her pick it out. Yeah.
Well, Calculate, this is an opportunity for you to go check it out. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Hey, they're a sponsor of the show.
A satisfied customer. Okay.
That's right.
All right. Yeah, definitely. So, Calculate, we would like to get the full report when you come back from the honeymoon. All right.
Gotcha.
Well, we thank Patty Platter for their support as well of all of our shows. All right. www.ptwithgrit.com. Keith Morgan. Don't forget him. If you want to look like me, or actually a little better than me, check out Keith Morgan.
You got jokes. Okay.
Yeah, I did it before. Okay, we're back at it. It's time for the mock draft. Lacey's favorite part of fantasy sports. I bet she would play fantasy cricket if we had mock drafts.
If there's a mock draft, she's in it.
She's all on board. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have 17 minutes to get this done. Just a quick overlay of the show. I'm gonna talk for about 1 minute here. So this mock draft, as Calculator spoke on a little bit earlier, we'll have this up on the screen, and we're gonna go through. We're a team right here. You see the 3-person team right here.
We're gonna have a consensus discussion on who we want to pick.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So,
yes.
Yeah. So it's gonna.
Does that mean an argument?
A discussion. Yeah. A discussion.
I thought we were gonna.
There's no arguments in July.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see about that.
Yeah. We'll call the discussion in air quotes. All right.
Okay.
And we're gonna also pull up the famous Wheel of Names, so we'll know when we're picking
to see our draft position.
Well.
All right. So.
Okay.
Oh, you had something to say there, Ms. Lacey, before we get started?
No, I just really wanted my own team.
Oh, okay.
Well, see, this is kind of a run through to show people how it works. So that's why we're kind of doing it like that. So yes, that will definitely come.
So that time is coming. And by the way, when we have that live mock draft, ladies and gentlemen, it will be aired live, so you can check it out. And when we have our official listener league draft. And by the way, listeners, we are looking for a member. So if you're interested, post your comment on YouTube, and we will consider you for that league. And you can take down the Calculator or attempt to take it down.
You can try to take down. My guys aren't going to get injured every year.
You heard that. You heard that, ladies and gentlemen.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear it.
All right. So there it is. Look up in the top corner. You see the team helmet. All right, the 411 Sports World Show team helmet. So that's our uniform there, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
It's time now for the Wheel of Names.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's see where we're drafting, folks.
I'm dizzy. Wait.
Oh.
Ooh.
What slot do we have?
11.
Number 11. All right. So
we're at number 11.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going into the draft position. We are going to be number 11.
Number 11.
As I said, the computers are going to draft based on their average draft position. So it's going to help us. Okay. And as you can see, that goes very fast. This is PPR. So if you look at it,
I've done this one before.
Yeah. So James, Taylor, Jonathan Taylor, McCaffrey, those three are normally on there. Dalvin Cook a lot of times has been falling in some PPR drafts, so I was kind of surprised to see him go. But it looks like these, and I guarantee you, Alvin Kamara will change as the season approaches because he could be suspended for the first few weeks in the season based on an incident in Las Vegas. But it looks like pretty much all running backs dominated the first part of the draft. So Cooper Kupp, that's the consensus number one wide receiver. So folks, as you can see with all these running backs gone, I mean, Joe Mixon is probably the tier break. After him, I mean, I got my man Aaron Jones still available, but we can always wait till the second round on him if you want to go. If you look, so I mean, the number 2 overall. What's that?
I vote for Joe. I'm getting my running back first if I can.
Okay. What about you, 411? Do you want that workhorse running back, or you want to stick at the top tier receiver? Because I assure you,
Kelsey's gonna be gone quick too.
Kelsey, go ahead.
In my history of drafting, I draft 3 running backs for my first 3 picks. So I'm down for the running game.
Okay. Well, so Joe Mixon I think Aaron Jones will be there in the second round. So if y'all want to go running back, Joe Mixon is probably the consensus pick. Is that you guys good with that?
Do you have a preference calculator?
Oh yeah, I'm with Justin Jefferson. And the reason I say Justin Jefferson is because I think there's 3 top tier receivers. You have Cooper Kupp, you have Justin Jefferson, and you have Jamar Chase. After that, they're going to be gone. And I have a feeling, although I do think, I don't know. I think either Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase will fall to us because I don't think the number 12 guy will draft both of them. So I think I could be in y'all's court. Get the running back we want right now and see if Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase falls to us in the second round. And if he doesn't, hey,
let's do that.
We'll pick up the Aaron Jones in the second round. Then we have our 2 running back. Okay, so we're going to go Joe Mixon.
Let's do it.
Excuse me.
No problem.
Right. Look at that. But
hey!
I mean, not only did Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase
out there too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So both of them felt it. So the guy I really wanted was Justin Jefferson. He's there for the taking in the second pick or second, unless you guys want to stay with running back. After Aaron Jones, the running back well is going to dry up by the time we pick again. So that is the scenario. We could nail down our 2 running backs now, or we could get a top 3 receiver to go with our workhorse running back.
I said let's. I'm okay with going receiver.
Okay. What about you, Mr. 411?
Ooh. Well,
you like that Aaron Jones?
I really want to go Aaron Jones in Green Bay with what's the receiver that's in LA in Las Vegas now?
Yeah. And we could do that.
Adams
and see what receivers fall to us in the third round. But the receiver, I mean, Justin Jefferson, he's going to have a ton of targets. Remember the new coach in town is the Rams offensive coordinator who was able to draw up plays for Mr. Cooper Kupp to have a, record-breaking type season.
Okay.
So that is
go with Jefferson. Go with Jefferson. Go with Jefferson.
We'll go with Jefferson. That's fair.
And we'll see what running backs fall to us in the next round.
All right.
Oh man, the
12 minutes on the 12 minutes on the clock, ladies and gentlemen. 12 minutes.
Woo! So the receivers. I'm glad we got that receiver because if you look at all those receivers that went off: Mike Evans, Keenan Allen, CD Ram. So I am very glad we went with our receiver and got our receiver because they went off like crazy. And then even some tight ends, Kyle Pitts went. Heck, George Kittle went in the third round. I don't even have him as my number 4 tight end, but he went. So D or Lacey. One thing I talked about early on with tight ends is the great or late strategy. And the great meaning you either draft a tight end early on or you wait till the end. So I think with the top 4, we might have to go with the late strategy on tight end. So I'm not really looking at tight end with our next 2 picks.
Okay.
I like T. Higgins.
So T. Higgins is so you like T. Higgins above a Michael Pittman. So you'd rather take what you would think is a second-tier receiver over a more conservative offense, but is going to clearly be the lead guy, and Michael Pittman Jr.?
Did Matt Ryan go to Indy, I think?
Yes.
He did.
Okay.
But Burrow is in Cincinnati, and I feel good about T. Higgins. So that's just my.
But are you feeling good with T. Higgins now, even though we had Joe Mixon on our team? It's really dicey to pair a running back with a wide receiver at this time, because say they have a bad day, you have a bad day. Or say they go down and they throw a touchdown to yeah, but if they throw it to Jamar Chase, you get hurt as well in that too, because then you're not getting any of that. Or they throw to their tight end.
What about Josh Allen?
I think they're all getting it in Cincinnati this year. Word on the street is Cincinnati is they're gonna increase their pace of play, and
I'm not excited about any of these guys.
And Burrow has proven to be the guy. And I just feel good about Higgins. He's a big target as well. So we're going to get those end zone receptions too. Even if we don't get the big yardage, we might get a 60-yard game from him, but we're going to get those 6 catches.
Okay, so your vote is T. Higgins.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, and calculated, what's your vote?
Mine is Michael Pittman Jr.
Okay.
With 10 minutes.
You say Josh Allen? I mean, Josh Allen, he's clear the number 1 quarterback.
I'm voting for Josh Allen. So now how do we figure this out?
All right, we do rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
This is what they do in the NFL, right? Rock, paper, scissors. Okay. All right. You convinced me, Lacey, to go with Josh Allen.
And I cannot stand. I mean, if you're going to get the number 1, and I guarantee you, Higgins and Pittman Jr. will be available for our next pick. So we'll go with Josh Allen
or something comparable. Yeah.
Look, both of them came back to
wow. Well, there it is.
Yeah. So
that's right, because we got the number 11. Okay.
Yeah. So there's only, that's why I said one of them will come back to you.
So quick turn.
Okay. Now, but here's a debate we got to do.
Okay.
All right.
We got to look at running backs again. We only got one running back.
Where are they?
Exactly.
I see Connor.
There's James Conner. There's Montgomery. Who's available? Like over here, I can do a little cheat sheet here.
Okay.
There's Cam Akers. Ooh, ETN. That's another guy that's been climbing up draft boards. You know?
Yeah.
Let's get the receiver and come back and get one of those guys.
What's that?
Let's get the receiver and come back and get one of those backs.
Okay, I guarantee you.
Remember, it was quick. It came back because we were the 11 pick.
Yeah.
Now,
I have a good James Conner, David Montgomery, and Cam Akers and ETN will not come back to us.
No.
So I assure you, if we could do with Elijah Miller or J.K. Dobbins, again, T. Higgins, Deontay Johnson, Michael Pittman, they won't come back to us either.
Yeah, and that's fine.
So we're at the with a rubber meets the road, right? So let's get a back. Let's get ETN because he's in Jacksonville.
Are you good with ETN, D Lacey?
It's ETN that we're going for.
Yes. Yeah. Because of his pass catching prowess, he's going to be the pass catcher as well.
Oh, okay. I'm okay with that.
And James Robinson is not due back. You know, he got his season-ending injury so late in the year. They said he could start the season on the PUP list. So they said ETN could have the backfield all to himself.
Let's do it. Do it. We're down to 6 minutes. We're down to 6 minutes in the game. Oh wow! Look at all those names going by.
Yeah,
they're going by. So.
Okay, there's your boy Hollywood.
Hey,
Nope. Go ahead, click. Let's go.
Okay, we don't even need to discuss, right?
No, we don't have to talk about it.
Okay. Hollywood. I mean, there's no discussion on that.
Yeah, that was quick.
Okay.
All right. I think we needed that one, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean that was good. Now look, we still have as running backs Elijah Mitchell's, AJ Dillon is still available if we want to go to, but we're at the flex position type here. Would you guys rather go for
Wait a minute. Do we have 3 receivers yet?
No, we only have 2 receivers. So that's why I said the next. We have 2 receivers and 2 running backs. So our next pick is effectively going to be our flex player because we got our 2 running backs and we got our 2 wide receivers.
Oh, okay. So, okay. That you're only starting 2 wide receivers. Okay.
Correct.
I vote for Mr. Judy.
I mean, that's you really can't. I mean, Russell Wilson's in town. I mean, he does have. I mean, so
let's go with it.
Okay,
well,
let's go with you. And let's see what running backs fall to us. Although we got our 2 starters, so we can see who if is Elijah Mitchell going to fall to us.
And calculated for the show purposes, we're drafting our starters. And then we'll run the rest of it out.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, look, Elijah Mitchell fell to us, so we can have another. Again, I've always vowed not to draft a running back from Mike Shanahan. But the good part is he wouldn't be our starting running back.
Right. That's true.
There you go.
You know, so are you guys good with that? Or y'all want to go with another receiver? Or, I mean, there's Kareem Hunt, A.J. Dillon is still out there.
What's left in our starting lineup?
Oh, we have our starters. So every
we have all our starters.
Well, we don't have our tight end.
We don't have a tight end.
Let's do tight end for the purpose of this show.
Okay. Dalton Schultz
every week.
Okay. Who else do you have at tight end?
Dalton Schultz, T.J. Hawkinson, Zach Ertz. That's pretty much in your second tier. After that, there's a tier break.
Okay.
Are you guys good with any of those 3?
I'm good with Hawkinson, followed by Hurts.
I honestly prefer a receiver here, but Hawkinson's okay with me.
Well, let's go with receiver, and I'll tell you why. Yeah. It's because one of those tight ends will fall back to us. Yeah. All 3 of those are. And matter of fact,
remember, we have 3 minutes left in the show.
I understand that, but just here's the thing where you look at your draft position. The guy number 12 already has a tight end, so we can get the tight end of our choice with our next pick. So let's pick our wide receiver. Here.
Okay.
And are you guys good with Devontae Smith or Christian Kirk?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Let's go with Devontae Smith. Yep. And then look, all tight ends are now with us.
Oh, nice.
So we're going with TJ Hawkinson. Was that it?
Yeah.
Dalton Schultz.
I'm okay with that.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
I feel good about him in Detroit.
All right.
Wow, what a lineup.
Man, I like this lineup already. Okay. All right. So now we're at flex position again. So we can go with Cordell Patterson's available. He's not a starter, so we don't need a starter, right?
Right.
Devin Singletary.
And he's no longer wide receiver / running back either this year.
Correct.
That's what I'm hearing now out in the streets. And we're down to 2.5 minutes.
Okay.
And we're down to 2.5 minutes.
Okay, we'll draft Cordell Patterson.
Okay.
We still. Oh yeah. We got our tight end. Okay.
Yeah. You guys, what about Chris Olave with New Orleans? I know I could be a homer, but he is a starter and he's going to have a high target share.
Okay.
And he's a rookie, so and he's not a starter. So
it's one of the points where you start drafting for potential. Yeah.
Exactly. This is that term breakout. Or the people that boom or bust type deal.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
And ladies and gentlemen, you see how exciting this is? This is
how many roster spots do we have left?
We have 2 more bench players before we draft our
kicker and our defense. Okay, for the sake of the
show, 30 seconds.
Let's go ahead and get the defense and the kicker.
So well let's get part of the Kansas City offense.
Okay.
And then
one more.
We will,
all right, this is the last.
Let's get part of that Buffalo
offense.
So we got the, and then now we're going with kicker and defense. So we're going to see what people can get with their last pick.
Yeah.
At the kicker and defense. So we'll go kicker. Hey, look at that, Justin Tucker, one of the best kickers for the past 7 years. We can get him.
10, yeah.
And then
very good. And now we have to run, ladies and gentlemen. But
and
to get the rest of our, to get the rest
Patriots
but
defense,
to get the rest of our lineup, All right, awesome. Now we appreciate everybody watching and listening. This was awesome. We gotta get out of here. But to watch the rest of get the full draft, check us out on the YouTube. We'll put the team on there.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Very good. It's nice to see you guys.
Calculator. Great to see everybody.
Great to see everybody.
Everyone have a great day.
All right.
See you soon.
See ya.